This is an introduction tutorial on how to use Creo Parametric for the class and to end up eventually 3D printing your projects. So to start off with, you always go to the select working directory and click on it. And you're going to notice that up here I have a whole bunch of different folders that I'm in. Now I want to make sure that you do not mess up by having this as your C drive. Every night the computers at school are wiped out, and therefore you got to make sure you're on the network. So what you do is down here under common folders, you should have one that said 40-room500- and then a number. That is the computer you're on. When you click on it, it'll give you a whole bunch of different directories in that. In your case, you'll be on the network and there should be an L drive. So I don't have an L drive because I'm on my personal computer, but I'm going to go into the data, and I'm just going to go to there, school, Creo. And then in here, because this is my own computer, I have lots of different projects, but I'm going to right mouse click and I'm going to go new folder, and I'm going to call this class sumo. And that is my actual working folder I'm going to work in, and all my files will automatically be put there. So I click OK, and I click OK again. Now, the next thing you're going to do is simply go to new. And here there's different types of files. Make sure you're on part, it's the default one. And in this case, I'm going to call the part wheel, okay, because we're going to create our wheels. And then I'm going to click OK. So once you create your file, you'll see up top here it says wheel and active. So this is the active window you're working in. A couple different things in here. You're going to have your different plane displays. So if I click on this one here, that is my top display. You'll see over here it's top. If I hold it long enough, it'll click on say top. If I click on that's my right display, okay, and again over there. And this is my front display, okay, data plane. So this here is what's called the model tree, and all the different parts that you build and make will be in here. Okay, so let's make a basic part. So I'm going to click on the front, and I'm going to highlight it, okay, and I'm going to come up to extrude. And what happens is it goes into this whole other sketch mode. Now, and these are all your different drawing tools, okay? Measurement tools, modifying tools, right? Basic drawings. So what I want to do is I'm going to draw a circle basically for the wheel. But you see how it's in 3D? Well, I can simply come right up to here to sketch view, and I can click on it. Okay, and it goes flat. And I'm going to come up to circle, and I want center circle. You can see a little dot. If you hold it over long enough, you'll see it. And I'm going to create a simple circle. And I'm going to come up to select, and you can see the number. Now, when Creo builds, it builds in just units. There's no inches or centimeters or millimeters. So we're going to work in inches. So I'm just going to click on this and say 1.5. Okay, and there's my 1.5 inch diameter wheel. Okay, and once that's done, that's my basic wheel. I'm going to click on OK. And now you can see that if I use my mouse button or the center mouse, I'm scrolling out, you can see how big the thing is, right? Well, up here, I don't want it 216 inches deep. I only want it maybe 1 inch deep. So I'm going to hit enter. Okay, and now I have a wheel that's a little bit smaller. I'm going to click on OK, right? So what I do now is when I push on the center mouse button and I move around, you can see that it rotates. Okay, if I scroll on the center mouse, you can see it zooms in, zooms out. If I scroll up here, you can see how it kind of zooms that way. If I scroll down here, you can see it goes that way. So what you do is you kind of line up where it is, and as you move, you can kind of move it in. Okay. Now, if you ever get lost and you go, oh, geez, which way is forward? I can press Control D, and that moves it back to the default position. Or I can come up to this AB and say, well, I want to look at the back of it, or I want to look at the top of it. Okay. Or in this case, I just want to default it back to the position. Okay, so that's the basics of Creo, and you'll notice down here the wheel parts. You'll see now there's the datum planes, and then you got this extrude. Okay, it's a good idea to name these. So instead of extrude 1, I want to say outside diameter. Okay, and that just gives me a name. Now you notice how it didn't let me do it. Okay, so I'm going to do that again, and I'm going to go outside underscore diameter. There's no spaces, it doesn't like them. Okay, so I do that, now there it is. Okay, so I'm going to stop here, but that's just the basics of how to kind of do stuff. Now if I want, right, and then we'll go on from there. So this concludes the kind of the intro to Creo.